Hello again, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning back in. Today I'm going to tell you a little bit about the time that I followed Cirque du Soleil to Italy. So a little bit of a backstory. My sister's boyfriend's actually in Cirque du Soleil. So he's a rigger, which means he is up in the scaffold during the show and he's responsible for harnessing the acrobats up and down, and he also does rescue, so if somebody gets hurt, breaks their ankle, whatever, which actually happens more often than you think it would, then he kind of keeps an eye out for that and makes sure everyone kind of stays okay and gets off the stage in time. So that was really cool. So basically they're touring Europe right now, Cirque du Soleil Corteo. So if you have a chance to see it, go check it out. It's absolutely incredible, very talented people. And yeah, they were in Italy, and as my going away / birthday present, my sister surprised me with a trip to go travel with her in the circus. So she's there for a couple months doing their European leg, and they were stopping in Bologna. So I gotta go, and what happens is they get hotels, obviously, every single place that they travel, but they can actually have the option to opt out of the hotel. So then they get the value of the hotel in cash, and essentially they can kind of do whatever they want. I know some people who are kind of staying in their own cars or that turn into like trailer type things. But what they decided to do this time around was actually rent out a giant villa. So they rented out a villa in the mountainsides of Bologna. Let's take a look at this. Like, it was like absolutely beautiful. The views were breathtaking. One thing I did learn about Bologna is public transit systems are not very good. Like, there are buses that come very infrequently and definitely not up to the mountaintop, and taxis are so expensive. So they always start with a flat rate, and I went into a taxi that started at 250 euros, and I've also been in a taxi that started as 10 euros, which is $15 Canadian, before the meter even starts running, which is absolutely ridiculous. So upon reflection, if you don't really want to spend that much money, I suggest staying somewhere a little bit more central, but the villa was absolutely an incredible experience. So, well, we were staying with pretty much all acrobats, and it was really cool because we were with them for a few days before I actually got a chance to see the show. So by the time I watched the show, it was so cool. I was fangirling. I was like, oh my gosh, those are my friends doing flips and stuff. It was so cool. Yeah, so that was awesome because they're just regular people. You get to know them as regular people, right? And now that I've officially run away with a circus, I can say that it is as fun as you think it would be. They're hilarious. So I went to see the show, and I kept my ticket because I'm a nerd and I thought it was cool. And my sister's boyfriend also took us on a backstage tour, which was really cool. So I wore this on my shirt like a little VIP, and he just explained kind of how the show ran and how long it takes them to unload and like set up. And it's just crazy to unload. I think they can do it in like an hour, but to pack up the set, but then to like put it all together, it takes like a day or something ridiculous like that. They showed me all the costumes and stuff, and it's crazy. They have these beautiful dresses filled with sequins, and they're angels, and there's quite a few of them kind of like up flying around in the air, and each dress is worth $100,000. Insane. $100,000 for a dress. You know, they have to be custom fit, and they have to make sure that since they're moving around so much, none of the jewels fall off and everything kind of stays in place. So that blew my mind, just the cost of it to put this production together. You know, all of the music was live, which was really cool as well. And I saw it in Italy, so it was actually all in Italian. So I didn't get the storyline as much, but my sister has seen the show and completely had it memorized. So I had her whispering in my ear, helping me out. So that was really cool. So yeah, 10 out of 10 recommend, obviously. Yeah, Bologna was a really awesome city for those of you who want to go to Italy. I highly recommend. It was very, very beautiful. Lots of really incredible architecture, as most of Europe has. The thing about Bologna is it's very it's one of the food capitals of Italy, and it's very meat oriented. I'm pretty sure that was the birthplace of like bolognese sauce, which is like a meat sauce, and bologna, I think too, which I'm veggie, so like that did appeal to me. It was a little tricky finding more veggie options. And I did make it my personal goal to eat pasta for every meal. I literally went to Italy with a goal of gaining at least 10 pounds. Goal achieved, and could not be more happy about that. Literally, I'm not kidding, I ate pasta for every meal. It was so good. And of course wine, all the vino I could handle, because the wine is cheaper than water when you go to a restaurant. They literally charge you to drink tap water at a restaurant, so why would I pay for tap water when I can just spend like 2 euros on a glass of wine? Am I right? So that was great. Then we headed over to Rome, and this was without Cirque. This was more just kind of a family part. So my dad and my stepmom came with us, and my little sister actually flew in as well. So it was so fun. It was really cool because last time I did Europe and Italy with my sister, we kind of made it our goal to do it as cheap as possible. So we went to the Coliseum last time around, and we wanted to go for a tour, and the line to get in was like 3 hours, and to buy a tour it was going to cost us like $80. So we literally looked around and found matching stickers to the tour groups and put them on and just like wandered in behind the tour. Shh, don't tell anyone. So that was fun, except for we didn't have the little earpieces. Normally on the tours, when I did it this time around, we actually got like an earpiece so you can hear the guide. So highly recommend doing a tour. Little bit of a hack, you can actually barter with them. So I don't really just buy it off of people kind of talking to you. Go to one of the offices and you can more often than not kind of negotiate the price down. So we did the ancient city and we did the Coliseum all in one, and it was really cool. It was awesome going with tour because you learn things that you wouldn't know just from seeing it yourself. You know, I don't know about you guys, but I'm so interested in history and architecture, and just there's looking at all of these ruins. There's absolutely breathtaking and almost haunting just knowing that there was like lifetimes that took place this way before you existed, before you were even a thought, right? So it really makes you realize how quickly time flies. So that was pretty cool. And then one of our last nights there, a couple of our friends from Cirque came up to join us for a night in Rome, and they stayed at the hostel that I recommended, which I've also kind of talked about before. It's Yellow Hostel. So if you're looking for more of a party vibe, highly recommend. Book on the website of the hostel, not Hostel World, because you'll get a discount and you'll get free dinner, I believe. So yeah, they stayed there, and then we had some drinks by the Coliseum at night. It was absolutely breathtaking. It was just so incredible just being next to one of the 7 wonders of the world. Are there only 7 now? I feel like they keep adding extra wonders of the world. Anyway, so it was so cool, and we'd always get like a little photo shoot and just like had so much fun. And then we went back to their hostel bar, and my little sister and I ended up, you can go downstairs to like a club area, but it was still pretty early. Like the nightlife there doesn't really get started till like 12:31. So it's probably about like 10:30 at this point. So we went downstairs and we just saw this like bottle of liquor sitting there, and we looked at each other and we're like, if it's sitting there, it's probably for us, right? So we kind of like grabbed it and like shoved it into a wall. And then as the bar and like the club got more full, eventually it was so packed you could hardly move. Every time we kind of like someone, we're like, follow me this way to my little stash, and we like poured it out of like the wall. It was funny. So that was one of my last nights in Rome, and yeah, we saw the Trevi Fountain, obviously all the touristy stuff. I'm trying to think of any tips and tricks. Oh, something that you need to know, Italy is huge for pickpockets. So you have to be very careful. What I do is I kind of have a fanny pack that I also have another strap that turns it into a purse, and I can, on the zipper, there's like a little hole that I can like clip it into so people can't unlock it. So definitely do something like that. The first time I went, I actually had a lock on my fanny pack. So it's very known for pickpockets, especially in Rome. So the entrance when you go into like Palatine Hill, like the ancient city, they're like full-on pickpockets just standing there. My first time around, our tour guide actually stopped us and they're like, look at this girl, she's gonna pickpocket. I recognize her, and there's cops standing there and they don't do anything, and she literally just pickpocketing people, and they look like regular people. So make sure you're super extra careful about that, because they're really good at what they do. You probably won't even realize. What they do is they kind of, one person bumps you, or they kind of give you some sort of distraction by like getting hit or something, and then they come in from the other side. So if you feel someone like shove you at all, punch them right in the face. Don't actually do that. My sister's boyfriend, actually, this guy walked across him. He was trying to call a taxi, try to grab his phone out of his hand, and he just like neck punched him. Don't recommend that because they could be dangerous, but this guy's like this big guy, like rigor and stuff, like it's fine, whatever. Anyways, so I hope you found some sort of entertainment from this video. I recommend Italy, of course. Italy is one of my favorite places. It's my favorite cuisine. A little bit of like some other recommendations that I went to last time. If you're looking for more oceanside, like coastal areas, the Amalfi Coast is beautiful, very expensive. I stayed in Positano, which was breathtaking. It's like on the side of a cliff, so you definitely recognize some photos. Like I'll attach them right here, and it's one of the most beautiful places I've been in my life. It's actually one of the most expensive tourist destinations as well. So if you go, make sure to be aware you're going to spend some money. Like for example, I spent like 60 euros on a hostel bed. And that was because there's only one hostel in the city, and that's the absolute cheapest that I could do, and which was a lot, but it was just so beautiful. Actually, one of my favorite meals of my life ever was in Positano. It was this fresh pasta with tomatoes like fresh from the garden and fresh mozzarella. I'm trying to be a whole Italian here. And there's fresh zucchini from the garden, and it was just like fresh basil. Oh, still, my mouth still waters thinking about it. Positano's beautiful. Least favorite place in Italy, Naples. It was the birthplace of pizza, so we went literally just to get pizza. And I've heard people who've liked it, but maybe because I did not go to the right areas. I went to kind of downtown Naples, and it was so sketchy. The second my sister and I got off the train, we looked at each other and we're like, no, we're leaving. Like, there's no way. So we stayed like a night there. Some other places in Pompeii, so cool. Being around those ruins, just seeing, it's very haunting as well. We went on a tour there. If you're under 18, you get it for free. My sister and I found that out, and she's like, yeah, I'm 17. And I was like, I'm 18, thinking that under 18 included 18. It didn't. So I had to pay. I kind of made her split with me. Sorry, Leah. Thank you for that. So that's also, make sure that you really process the things people say to you before you speak. And in terms of Pompeii, I suggest going on a tour. We didn't. I had no idea what I was looking at. It was still super cool. Fun fact, did you know the volcano that destroyed Pompeii actually is still active, and everybody living there is choosing just to live there anyways, which is so crazy to me, but it's a very beautiful town, so I can see why, but just like, let's hope round 2 of Pompeii destruction does not happen. Because like pretty much when I was speaking to some locals, and they all were like, yeah, that's pretty much like a sure thing that it's gonna explode at some point. We're just all ready for it. So hopefully they're a little bit more ready for it this time around. Last minute advice, Florence, a lot of fun. In the summertime, all of the nightlife, all the clubs shut down because it's too hot, because most of them are open air. So if you're looking to go like out in the summer, Florence may not be the best option for you. Really cool city, but just like a lot of big buildings. So yeah, if you're in Italy and you're just looking for good food and culture, well, you can pretty much go to any city and walk down any street and find it. So if you want a little bit of the cheaper, more engulfed in culture atmosphere, the smaller little tiny towns would definitely be best for you. But if you don't know Italian, that could be a little bit difficult for you, because the language barrier definitely is a huge issue. Also, Uber is not legal in a lot of the cities, so I also learned that the hard way. I don't know if it's not legal or just doesn't exist, but I know there isn't in Rome, but it was ridiculously expensive. And if you're from somewhere that has Uber, especially Toronto, where you get crazy Uber discounts all the time, it was a rough life. Anyways, I'm gonna stop rambling on now. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my video, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.